we don't have all day.
No, this is a 2-hour segment.
You know, there's certain properties that have a certain element that creates the workload. You have some properties that are very easygoing. There's no pulse. It just runs itself. Whereas you have, on the flip side, properties where you're, you know, constantly checking on the project, you're working with law enforcement, you're working with, you know, maintenance, deferred maintenance.
What is there a common trait that you could point to that says that this property is going to be high maintenance? I mean, it's pretty easy to flip through a magazine and see who's going to be high maintenance, but can you really do that with properties?
Well, I'm not one to judge, Shannon, but you kind of can. I mean, you kind of do your due diligence, you know, just with anything. You know, when you buy a car, you know, when you're looking at that vehicle from the outside, it might look great and you might not see a problem, but when you start driving that thing around, you know, the car breaks down.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of correlate that to a property. You know, you can't judge a book by its cover. You really have to do the due diligence to see what you're getting yourself into, and yeah.
So Jeff, when you're talking about the due diligence, I mean that's 3/4 common sense, 1 part professional, or is it a different mix than that? I mean, can the average person, someone that has a good paying job, they work at a great law firm, or they work downtown, they've got a doctor's position, is someone like that, they should be smart enough to do due diligence, shouldn't they?
Of course, that's what they would say,
Right.
right? Yeah, I mean, I think property managers or property management in general is misinterpreted a lot of the times because everybody thinks they can do it.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the case. It takes a very special, skilled group or individual to handle the due diligence situation. You have...
Well, and the law enforcement part of it seems like it would take a very special individual anyway.
Absolutely. But, you know, as far as due diligence, you know, there's certain prerequisites that you have to follow. You don't just look at a building and go, looks good, you know,
Right.
You know, you want to take the time to, you know, look underneath things, you know, you want to take the time to look at the financials, you want to look at the age of the building.
When you're brought into a project, when someone's asking you to help them with the due diligence, what due diligence do you directly do as a property management company? I mean, do you guys actually crawl in the crawl space and crawl in the attic?
Yeah, I mean, those are where you're going to find your most critical issues.
Okay.
You know, anybody can walk through this room and see that the walls are painted, the light bulbs are on, the carpet is clean, but, you know, have you checked under the kitchen sink? Have you opened a microwave? Have you went to the hot water heater and noticed there's no drip pan underneath it? All of those simple things are critical because that's where you look at it from the perspective of it could be a maintenance issue.
Sure. And where you have on-staff maintenance people, that's probably pretty easy. For the average layperson, it's probably something that they could hire with their home inspection or some of that nature, yeah?
Absolutely.
Great.